Hey guys, welcome back to Much's Wrench Set. Tonight we got Jeremy.
Hey.
Crazy neighbor, Ford guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of naturally why you're always down here at my house. Jeremy, you don't, we don't go back as far as some of my buddies that I've had on the show. We kind of met recently from you kind of stopping down in the garage to see what's going on. Give us your story. Tell us who you are.
Well, grew up in Southern Ohio, kind of moved around a lot. We had when I was a little kid, my dad had a lot of cars around the house that he used to mess around with. I mean, we've always had a lot of stuff, it seems like, at the house. And for me, I was playing around with that, but most of my knowledge, a lot of stuff that I come up with is just because I'm kind of frugal. So I don't want to pay somebody else to fix my stuff, So that tends to be where I kind of want to fix stuff myself and do things myself. And I kind of moved around a little bit after that. I got married, had some kids. We moved to, off to Iowa for my job, and eventually came back. And you're right, yeah. Whenever I met you, it was because I kept hearing about this guy with the Camaro, so I had to come by and see it. At the time I had that Trans Am, and that was that was a fun. I mean, it wasn't a piece of junk, but yeah, it had a lot of work done to it, and it still wasn't where I wanted it to be.
Well, it's funny, folks. Jeremy and I talked a little bit. I'm kind of that guy in the neighborhood that always tries to hide when everybody else is trying to come out and meet their neighbors. I'm always hiding from everybody. I'm like a little hobbit, just staying in my own lane here. But yeah, I feel like that's my reputation now around the neighborhood is just that asshole in the corner with the Camaro.
Oh no. Well, no, everybody around here says they want to meet you. So I mean, that's
they say that until they meet me.
Well, I have to drag you out of the house, I guess, or take that Camaro around the block and maybe jump out in front so you have to stop at houses. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. That's how I'm meeting a lot of people is cars. That's how I met some of the other neighbors. That's how I met you. I had had that 02 WS6 that I used to have, had that out, and you swung by and you were like, hey, it's a good looking car. How much is that? Yeah, that was when I had it for sale. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of people, I guess I'm kind of lucky that a lot of people are more forward than I am as far as getting out there.
I'm an extrovert, it sems like. So it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Somebody might walk up to somebody and say, hey, how's that car? And say, hey, why don't you get out of here? Don't worry about that car. Go on home.
Well, that's what I want to when people creep up slowly. Like if it's after hours and they creep up slow, even if they're in a cool car, I'm like, what's going on here? And then they'll be like, hey, and it's all good. But,
well, they got to say something. They don't say something.
Yeah, it's nice when they're more friendly. Some people aren't friendly and they try and stop by, and that just makes it more awkward.
Well, yeah. Or you can just stare them down. Maybe just drive on by.
Yeah.
That guy's weird. I'm not talking to him.
But luckily you were friendly enough. You're friendly enough. You got me to help you recently on the Mustang. Tell us a little bit about the Mustang you got.
Well, that was the plan. That was a grand plan there, and I don't want to be friends no more. So I just thought, Gary got what
it was a plan a year in the works.
It was.
I knew
I had to plant the seed, and I got it done. So I don't know why I'm even.
Was the car breaking at that point, or did you know you would need help?
I knew it was going to break. Oh. Well, see, I had that Trans Am, and I knew in the future I was going to get that Mustang. Right. I knew it was going to have certain problems. I mean, I already knew all this. So that was the whole grand plan.
So you knew you had to make friends. That's smart. I would do the same thing.
That's now the goal's met. Well, I'm not going to break it yet because, I mean, I don't know. There's still some stuff could be done.
Well, but it was broke. Well, it wasn't broken. So we'll get into that, the job Jeremy and I did recently. But tell us a little bit about the car.
So the Mustang or the Trans Am?
Well, tell us about both.
All right. Well, the Trans Am, that thing, that was kind of a treat. So a long time ago when I first met my wife, I had a 95 Formula Firebird. I love that car. Man, it was like Pepsi can blue. And dark tinted windows, 6-speed. I loved it. Man, it was lightning fast. And I ended up having to sell it because I decided to trade in for a kid. And kids don't really fit well in the back seat of those things, especially car seats. And driving down those windy roads in Southern Ohio, you don't really want rear wheel drive with a kid and snow everywhere. So, kind of got rid of it, but I always missed it. So my wife, she was secretly saving some money up in the background, and she found this car in here, actually, when we lived in Iowa. She found it here in Worthington. And she bought me plane tickets. I flew all the way out here, and I got it, and I test drove it a little bit around, and my father-in-law already checked it out, and he liked it. I drove it all the way back to Iowa. And it was nice. I mean, I liked it. It was great. It was fast. Had a 12-hour trip. But, about...
It was an LT1, right?
Yeah, it was LT1, yeah.
6-speed or auto?
No, auto. That was okay. There's some downsides to it. So, I missed the 6-speed, but I was grateful to have it, right? Yeah. So, I always thought, well, maybe later on we'll convert it. That was always what I thought. But my My first clue of that car should have been when I got in Illinois and I had to get gas. I went to go turn the car off. Well, when I turned the car off, it kind of had the ignition switch kind of clicked weird. And it was kind of like a little extra force. And then when I got back in it, I really had to give it a good turn. Like I just had to, and something broke in there. I could hear it. And so I wasn't about to turn it off to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But hell, this thing may not ever come back on again. So I just drove it all the way. And then when I got into the Iowa border, I needed a little more gas. Left the car running, put some gas in. I had the spare key in my hand, and locked the door so I can go inside and come back out. Took off all the way to the house. It's a good thing because I pulled in the driveway. You know, I turned it off, showing my wife this beautiful car. Come outside, I went to go start it back up, but I had to hold the ignition. Shoot. If I let go, it'd flip back on me.
Shoot.
So that was the first clue, you know, that I should have maybe not got this car.
Damn. Now here's a question. So I've had some 4th gen F bodies. I've never had an LT1. I had an LT1 era Firebird. It was a V6 when I was in Germany, but never had an LT1, and I never had a 4L60 car, the automatic. How did that do on gas? Do you remember the automatic when you drove it there?
Yeah. So I mean, I pulled up here in Columbus, and it was I think Champaign, Illinois, roughly where I had to refill it up. And then it made me all the way to the house. I mean, I did stop at that gas station, but I probably didn't have to. I mostly had to pee is what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have a hard time going into the bathroom and then, you know, not buying something. So I was like, well, I'll just top off the gas.
Yeah.
But I could have made it all the way back. But it did quite well. I mean,
Nice.
I drove it back here when we moved back here, and I only had to fill it up once on the way here too.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Man,
because that's the funny thing about muscle cars. I mean, even newer muscle cars. You know, I think the stereotype out there for non-car folks and even people that don't know, LS and LT cars that well, they just assume they get terrible gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
But that O2 I had, man, I drove that down to Cincinnati once. And so you're going downhill a little bit, you know, flat and downhill. But, man, it was a, 2-hour drive. And that was a 6-speed LS, stock, and a couple bolt-ons. And, man, that thing, no kidding, it got 30 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good these LSs and LTs, too, can do on gas.
Yeah, they do well, and I think one of the things we have to compare to, and it's not really a good comparison, but I made the mistake, and then when my wife ends up watching this, she's gonna shake her head, I'm sure. But I made the mistake of getting her a minivan. See, she's not a minivan girl.
Oh.
She's a Mustang girl herself, and that's she has a '76 Mustang too herself. And so I got her a minivan. I thought, well, we got a big family. Need a minivan, right? Well, it's a V6 minivan. And
you were being too good of a parent.
Well, yeah, I was thinking ahead, yeah. She acts like I got her to sign the papers at gunpoint, but she was a willing participant. Well, looking back, maybe not so much. But she drove it around a lot, right? And we, that thing was horrible on gas. Like, it's this big old, the problem is it's a big old vehicle.
Yeah.
It weighs a lot. But when you're going up and down hills and stuff, I mean, it sucked gas a lot. I mean, it was terrible on gas. I mean, we drove it back to Columbus to visit and come back, and I mean, we filled that thing up multiple times.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's just the transmission. Like, I'm amazed at the difference in let's say like a C6 Corvette. I'm amazed at the difference in gas mileage between a manual and an auto. Like with that Trans Am, I think the reason it did so good on gas was that the gearing in the transmission. It had a double overdrive. The 6 speeds do. 5th gear was an overdrive. It's like a 0.8, 0.7. I'm going to screw that up. But 6th is a 0.50 gear. So at like 70, I'd be turning like 1,650 RPMs, just cruising down. So yeah, it's awesome how good cars actually do on gas, especially nowadays. God, the hot rods with 400 or 500 horsepower, and you can get mid-20s with them. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, when we finally got, the minivan, we finally got rid of it because I got tired of hearing it complain. I mean, I got the shirt on here, so I got a thing for gingers, but the downside is to having a ginger around is they got a temper when they don't. Something's not really what they like.
So you're referring to your wife, who's a ginger?
Referring to my wife, yeah. Okay. Well, my little girl, she's also a ginger, but she's not got her full ginger powers yet. But she's getting close.
Well, from what you tell me, she's not going to be happy about a minivan either.
No. My little girl, no. Even at 6 years old, she wants a Cobra. She'll tell anybody she wants a Cobra. Anybody will listen. That's what she wants.
Well, and you're halfway there with the Mustang. So we talked about the Trans Am. Mm-hmm. Give us the rundown of the Mustang that you got right now.
So my 99 Mustang, I traded that Trans Am off for it. I just got tired of working on it. I posted online and asked if anybody wanted to trade for a Mustang. I wasn't really expecting to go up because I had a 95 Trans Am. He had a 99 Mustang. And the people who are listening to this call probably think, or this video thinks that I'm probably trading down. Depends on your opinion.
It depends on who you ask.
Right. Yeah. So, but he, that particular guy, he did a lot of drag racing up north there, and that's what he wanted. He was racing against Trans Ams and Camaros, and he felt like he was getting beat too much, and his friends would always give him. You look at his comments on Facebook, and his friends were giving him a lot of crap about his car, but they all had Mustangs. Even the Mustang owners giving him crap, saying it's a driver mod. Said you should be able to win. It's a driver problem. You can't change that. But anyways, he wanted to trade. He wanted an LT1, and so he messaged me, and we met halfway, about 2 hours from here, and swapped it off, and I loved it. I mean, I drove all the way home. It's the first time I've actually really enjoyed driving a vehicle. I mean, I liked the Trans Am, but I really love driving this Mustang.
Yeah, because the Mustang's a stick shift.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 5-speed. That really adds to it. I mean, it's something to do, man. It's something about the power in your hand when you're shifting.
Oh yeah, I mean, for a hot rod, a stick is it's on a different level of interaction with the car. It's much better. So
I can let everybody know you're mad.
Yeah.
Instead of hitting the horn, just rev it up.
Yeah.
Dump the clutch.
Well, most Mustang owners are mad, I feel like.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why.
We get mad at each other, I've noticed, driving down the road.
Yeah, well, you're probably mad because your header bolts are so hard to get to.
Well, yeah, that does make you aggravated.
So that's what I wanted to lead into. A couple of weeks ago now, we on a Saturday and Sunday there, we did a pretty big job. We ended up. Well, first tell us why we had to do that work.
Well, we had to do it because I asked nicely and I planted that seed all them a year ago. So, but no, the exhaust was leaking into the car, and the guy that had it before me, he put header bolts on it, and he said it was he had locking header bolts, but it didn't. I think he meant thread lock is what it really looked like when I got the bolts out finally. But they were backing out, and you can't get to the ones against the firewall. You just can't. The way these header pipes are bent around, you just can't get to them.
And I didn't even believe you until we got the whole K-member and front suspension and everything out of there. And yeah, they're like an Oldsmobile motor. They're on the bottom side. Yeah. So what we ended up doing was I brought over my engine hoist. We had the car up on jack stands, tires and frame off the car, or frame in the air. Hooked the motor up to the engine hoist, suspended the motor, and then dropped the whole K-member and front suspension out of there. So it was struts, brakes, steering, rack and pinion, the front K-member, everything came out.
Yeah.
And then I felt like those bolts were still kind of like, I mean, you could get to them, but they were still kind of like,
Yeah, it wasn't. So at least with the motor being kind of up there, I had flexibility moving the motor up and down a little bit so I can get to it. But I don't know, those back ones are still a pain in the ass. I mean, I really had a hard time getting to them.
Yeah, that's kind of when I left you. I was like, I helped you get the K-member out. I was like, okay, well, you get the work done. I'll come back to put it in. Yeah.
Well, the passenger side was relatively, in the grand scheme, easy. Because when I finally got to the driver's side, that was a pain in the rear because the steering shaft's all the way through it. And I didn't want to disconnect all that up at the top or anything. And so I kind of just had to finagle it. Once I finally got the bolts off, it took me at least an hour to get it back on because I had to raise the motor up a little bit and then because remember, it was cockeyed.
Oh, yeah.
The motor was cockeyed a little bit, so I was adjusting it a few different times trying to get the slide over in there just to move it. Because they don't have anything to rest on. So I'm trying to pull on one side and just to line it up and then get a bolt up in there. And
yeah.
So I want to make a good seal. But if I looked at those header gaskets, and it's a good thing we done it, because, I don't know. I mean, people might watch this and think I'm stupid, but maybe I am. I don't know. But the oil... I was having that problem with the oil burning out the back of it, right?
Yeah.
If it idled for a long time, I was thinking it was valve stem seals because that's what I would have thought it was. But it never shot smoke on startup. I never seen smoke out the back of it on startup ever. And so that made me think that maybe there's a slight chance that it's not. And that whole head was covered in tons of oil in different spots. Like
really?
Plug holes had oil in it, and the injectors holes had oil in it. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. But then I remembered that time I did that timing chain cover replacement, and I had to take the valve cover gaskets off. And by the time I got that cover back on, and it was time to put those valve covers back on, it was hot. I think it was August or sometime. I was frustrated. I probably should have just waited. I didn't do it right. I had to hurry up, and I made every mistake in the world of putting those valve cover gaskets in there because they're supposed to be dry and just those Velcro ones just dry and set them on. But I couldn't get them on there because I didn't take the time to clean the old oil off. So I ended up thinking, well, I'll just put some RTV in there and hold it. And then I raked it across the cam on the top, trying to just jamming it in there. I was done. and that
I've been
created a
there.
leak.
I think we've all been there. Yeah. You're
So
putting things back together frustrated.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's usually the final steps that you're like, just get done, you know.
Yeah.
But on the passenger side, I didn't take as much care as I should have, and it was leaking off those valve cover gaskets, and it was blowing out the top. I noticed that, so I ended up having to go back there and lifting it up and trying to jam it back in there because there was oil shot all over the place back there.
Really?
And then I think that might have what got sprayed in up to the top, and then but I think it was always seeping out when it got hot, and it was coming down to down inside because the hole or the gasket for the headers, I mean, it was since they were leaking, and they were blown out on the end, and then both ends actually were ate up. They were gapped, and then I couldn't tighten them, so I think it was kind of maybe seeping down in there and then collecting at the bottom of that header and then burning out the back every so often.
But you didn't have to do valve seals, so that's a win.
Yeah, and and I know it sounds crazy, but I've let that thing idle for a half an hour and then just hammer that gas, and not a drop of smoke comes out the back. So I think we did. I'm glad I didn't touch the valve seals.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That would have been a pain.
Yeah. So you did those, and then you also did the oil pan gasket, right?
Yeah, the oil pan. That was actually the easiest part to do it, but.
Oh, because the K-member was out of it.
Yeah, you just touch everything then.
Yeah. Something had to come out of it. I mean, a lot of cars have been like that for decades now, where, I mean, if you want to do an oil pan seal on a rear-wheel drive car, you're pulling something. You're pulling the K-member if it's that kind of car, you're pulling the motor. I mean, they don't make it easy.
Well, it had a little bit of leakage around it, man, because it was wet. The oil that was on the bottom of that never really dripped on the ground. I mean, I never seen any spots, but every time I was under there, I could see, like, you could touch the bolts and there'd be oil on the end of it and stuff. So I thought, well, since the K-member's off, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
You know, no sense in putting it back, and I see that problem, so I might as well just replace the gasket now.
And it was. I mean, that was the best time to do that kind of thing, because I'm not going to come back over in 2 months and take the K-member back out again. Although it was pretty easy. I mean, it wasn't.
We had it out in, what, 2 hours?
Yeah. Well, it would have been faster if you hadn't kept feeding me beer.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the payment.
Yeah, I felt like I was making myself look bad. You were working, I was drowning myself in booze.
That beer was 2 years old too. See, I bought it a long time ago when I met you. Yeah, it's 2-year-old beer.
Didn't tell me that.
Well, no, but it tasted good, didn't it? It's still
cold. It tasted like year-old beer.
Well, see, it ages well then.
Lucky I'm still standing here.
Tell Budweiser thanks.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, all right. Well, yikes. Okay. Well, yeah, but that's that job went well. A lot of work, but went really smooth. I was really impressed because I had never done anything like that on a Mustang. I mean, I've done little jobs here and there on some Fords and some Mustangs, but nothing ever of that caliber. I mean, it was a lot of work, but yeah.
Well, and then if you remember that night, I'm kind of so I got those kids in the house, and I had to have it all done. I mean, so after you left, we finished up about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think we started around 10 in the morning. So after you left. It's the thought. At first, I thought, well, I'll just drag this out over the weekend because you had a good idea. Just take your time, do a little part here and there. And
I was trying to be positive and upbeat.
Yeah, well, so I thought, well, screw this. I got kids in the house, and sure as crap, they'll come out and maybe one of my kids will say, well, what's this do? And next thing you know, the motor hits the ground because they rip everything out, or they might get under there and play around and look. I mean, they're kids, so they get into stuff. So I just stayed out till 4 in the morning. I think I finally texted you and told you I was done.
Yeah, I woke up the next day and I had a text in the middle of the night. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I had it all done. And then we didn't mess with it the next day. That was Sunday. I think I just wanted to lay down and watch the NASCAR race.
That's right. Yeah. I came back after work on Monday.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sad to take a day off.
No, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, well, and you kind of told us a little bit of how you learned about cars. Part of it was from being frugal, but one person you mentioned a lot is your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about him. I know you mention him a lot when we're just kind of sitting around bullshit in the garage. You talk about what he's doing. It seems like he's a really good source of knowledge.
Yeah, he is. He is. So they call him Fix It. That's his nickname.
Fix It.
Yeah, because he can fix everything. Is what they pretty much. And he's a good guy. He when I first met Amanda, my wife, she and the whole yard. I mean, he had this whole driveway had cars stacked on top of cars. I mean, I can't stress how many cars he had there. Like, he had a Galaxy sitting there that the motor that's in her 76 actually came out of. It had a 302 in it. And he had I think it was a Nova sitting in the yard. It was primered up. My wife wanted it, but he ended up selling it. But he had a whole yards of cars over there. Dodge Ram from 70s model Dodge Ram sitting in there that he just
really.
My wife has definitely got her name on that list for one day when he doesn't want it.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. So how old were you when you met him? When you guys met?
God, I think I was 22 when I met her. So that's been a while. It's been a minute there for that, but One of the greatest things I thought about him is that that impressed me was that Chevette I keep telling you about. That he put that 350 in.
Now, does he still have that?
No, he don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in years, but yeah, he had it, and I remember looking at it. And he said it had that, that V8 in. I couldn't believe it. Looked in there, and the motor's sitting. He had to cut it all out. I mean, it's sitting. You're sitting with it inside the car.
So he's a fabricator.
Yeah. Well, he likes to rig stuff. So so if he needs something done, he'll do it.
Well, that's the only way to get things done sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you, I know you said he lives, not very close. Do you ever get to turn wrenches next to him or do much with him, or is it kind of just in passing? Or?
Well, with him, I think he tends to take over a lot of stuff when he does, because he likes to do, he's a perfectionist in a way, I think. So he likes to, if it gets done, he likes to do it himself.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so we went down one time when I was going to do the springs in my car, and I've never done the springs before, so I think in his mind he pictured I was going to drop that control arm and the springs would hit me in the face or something.
Or hit him.
Yeah, so he kind of, he told me to bring it down there to him, and we would do it together.
Okay.
So there were some things he did, and I watched him do it. I learned how to, I said, oh, okay. Well, to be honest, there was some things there I probably wouldn't have thought about. But I wouldn't have shot myself in the face, but I don't know, maybe.
He didn't trust you?
Yeah, so he wanted to make sure. So, there's some things, I put it back together. But he helped take it off, and it is what it is. I mean, he's very cautious, but if I have any questions, I always ask him. He tends to know.
Now, does he like you? I know, being a son-in-law, I
hope so.
It's a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to really.
Well, I'm going to give him the link to this, so I don't know. He can say in the comments, I guess. But
oh God, well, we'll see how he really feels about you. Take it easy on him later.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, he sounds like a heck of a guy. He sounds like a really smart guy to be around.
He is. I mean, my wife's car, I won't even touch her car. Her 2010 Mustang. I mean, it's only because of she doesn't get mad at him if he breaks something right, but me. Yeah.
Well, you can't get mad at Daddy, but you can get mad at hubby.
Yeah. So I tend to not want to mess with that thing. So she goes to him for some things, and he fixes that. I mean, it was recently in an accident, so there was a lot of extra stuff that had to do to fix that thing up. So.
Yeah, what happened in the accident with the car?
Well, it still ain't over with yet, but the nuts and bolts of it is that we was driving down the road, and a guy decided he was going to cut across 3 lanes of traffic and turn into the other side. And he was waved out from somebody else in the right lane, but that traffic was stopped. Our traffic was wide open. There was just no time to react. I mean, my wife loves that car. I mean, my little girl loves that car, and we replayed it several times in our head afterwards, and there was just no time. I kept telling her that.
Yeah.
He just came out so quick. So if it wasn't for the fact that guy was driving a smart car, our car would have been really destroyed.
Yeah.
But instead, it hit the driver's side, so it was on the left quarter panel or left fender, and I mean it took all that crap and just crumpled it back like a pop can.
But it wasn't totaled.
No, well,
okay.
yeah. Our insurance company said it wasn't totaled. There's one totaled it immediately. That's another conversation I'd like to spread the word about. But
thanks. Well,
one day. But our insurance company, they looked at it and they said no, it's not totaled. And they fixed it and billed the other insurance for it.
Nice.
But yeah, there was no frame damage. That's the thing.
Good.
It's just the biggest problem was that all 4 airbags deployed in the car, and it had leather seats. So the airbags are in the seats, and it blew out the seats.
Shoot. I never think about the seat airbags because I've never had a car nice enough to have one.
Well, I'd like to disable the darn things, but you do, and then you think somebody's in the car with you, and they get something happens to them. Much rather the person be safe than the car.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel with a lot of things, and the reason I ask if it was totaled, because a lot of cars nowadays, well, all cars really, they're meant to crumple. I mean, they're meant to keep you safe. Cars are meant to take the blow, and they'll be totaled from that damage, but they're designed to keep you alive and keep you safe.
Right.
Unlike cars 40 years ago, I've seen some. I saw a video recently. It was like an ODOT video where they took like a '59 Impala and crashed it in modern high-speed video. Jesus, I don't think I drove my Camaro for a week. But cars are designed to crumple, so that's why I asked if it was totaled.
We can't figure out why all the airbags went off in this car. Even my father-in-law was looking at it. He's like, it doesn't make any sense, and he brings up good points. They're not designed, as far as we know. If you get a front impact, why would you want the side airbags to go off? So the only thing I can figure from looking at it is that where that damage was actually, because it took out that fender, right? So maybe the car's sensors, when we were driving it, just the way it hit and the movement or something, made the computer think all 4 need to go because we were hitting the side, or going to move somewhere we shouldn't. I don't know. Or maybe Ford just says, let them rip. I don't know. But
Maybe, yeah, because I could see it being that, some cars, if they get in any accident from any corner, all the airbags will blow. I don't know. If anybody out there knows about, what the majority of most cars, how the airbags are supposed to go, if it's all independent of where the accident was, I'd like to know. You ever seen those funny videos of people autocrossing with, their daily drivers, and they'll turn so many G's in corners that they'll blow the side curtain airbags?
No.
Never seen those videos?
No, but I'm going to look them up now.
Yeah, you should. So I know it's possible that they can blow independent. Yeah, there's a video of, I don't even remember what one of the cars was, but several different cars. But they're driving, they're turning, they're on like an autocross course, and they're just turning so hard because they got tires on it and everything that they blow their side curtain airbags because something in the car was just feeling so much force that it thought it was in an accident.
Yeah. Well, see, I would say people like to drift those Mustangs a lot too. And but the guy you see doing you can watch him on YouTube. I can't think of his name, but he drifts them a lot. But the outside looks like a normal Mustang, but the inside of it's got roll cages in it, so it's
not Vaughn Gittin, is it? I know he's big into the Mustangs. I don't follow drifting too much, but
this guy, he just drifts constantly. I mean, there's a video of him just mostly sliding sideways, around a track. But yeah, it's not stock. There's no airbags in that thing to go off. But I'd be kind of curious to see.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody likes to call our cars crowd control devices. So
Yeah, I don't know who's to blame for that, the drivers or the kids filming it all and putting it up. Because, I mean, it doesn't happen as often as it looks, but yeah, it definitely makes it look like Mustangs are taking down the population of the earth.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, when I hammered my car the other day, coming out, I wasn't doing it to be an idiot. I was doing it because I was trying to get out. There's some traffic. Maybe I should have waited. I don't know. Maybe I was being an idiot. But I kicked it out, and when I did, I don't have traction control in my car. It was disabled. And, man, it wanted to fishtail real quick. No, I was only in first gear. But it was wanting to lose it.
Yeah.
It was looking for people on the side of the road, but it straightened out because there wasn't no people.
I like it.
There were people there, probably would have went.
Man, and the funny thing is, I mean, the part that nobody ever thinks about, or they don't seem to, is that maybe it's just the design in the Mustangs. I mean, they're until 11 or 12, they were all solid axles, other than Cobras and whatnot. Maybe it's just the design in the rear suspension. Do you know what kind of rear suspension is it? Like a 3-link? I'm not familiar with my Mustang rear suspension.
Well, I mean, I know in the back of mine it's got quad shocks to keep it from wheel hopping, but you can upgrade the control arms. You won't have to have that anymore. But
is there a Panhard Bar running
No.
lattery? See, I wish I knew more about them so I could speak to them, but I figure it's just something in the design that makes them, so I don't know if it's uncorrectable is the right word, or just makes them fishtail more, but there's got to be something in the design.
I don't know. I mean, I read it once. Somebody, you know how the internet is. I mean, the internet's got all the answers, but somebody was talking about how it's something to do with how Ford handles traction control. Something about when they slip, it mistimes it or something. I don't know. It's something about the timing of how it corrects. It's not really wrong. It's just, I wish I would have remembered exactly what it said. But
because I would think they wouldn't be able to kick them out like they are at all if the traction control was on. Because I've only owned a couple cars that have traction control, and I mean, it worked. You turn that traction control on, you would get a chirp. I mean, if you tried to slide it, forget about it. Your engine would just bog down.
Well, this one, see, I mean, mine, since it's a 99, so the 99 through 04, maybe the 95s to the 98s as well. I don't know, but I know the 99 through 04, they all have the same problem with the traction control. So the ABS module, it just goes out. The traction control goes out with it. It seems to be a standard thing. You can, everybody has this problem, and traction control goes out, it don't work. So I don't have ABS, and I don't have traction control, and I don't have the light on my dash to tell me because it's out. So
so did you have traction control? So your car has traction control,
right?
Just doesn't work because of the module.
Module's out.
Oh, I thought you meant your car didn't
No, it came
have
with
TCS.
it. No, it came with it.
Okay, but the ABS, because folks, that's how traction control in most cars works off the ABS module. Your sensor in your wheel speed sensor will tell the computer something's moving faster, so it'll tell the ABS to kick on, or some cars the engine will bog down. It kind of depends, but usually it runs off the ABS module. So if your ABS module isn't working right electronically, your traction control is probably not going to work.
Well, I thought about getting it replaced, but it stops just fine, and I don't really want to I mean, I know if I fix it, I just disable traction control anyways with a tune, or just keep hitting the button every time I got in and shut it off.
I hate to say it, I don't want traction control.
I think I don't want it until it rains, Then But then I don't really drive my car that much in the rain. I leave it in the garage.
Well, and you don't drive crazy. I mean, you got kids. You know what you're doing. Some folks probably need traction control.
Yeah. Well, my little girl though, she's a speed demon. So if she's in the car,
I've seen her go by on her Power Wheels.
Well, yeah, that
Flying.
Mustang Power Wheels that she has. Yeah,
You're just trying to keep up.
yeah. Well, when she's in my car, she tends to, when she wants you to go fast.
Oh, she'll egg you on?
Yeah. So the idiot,
Oh,
you know,
no.
the 21-year-old comes out at me real quick. You know, not the 40-year-old. The sane person's not there no more.
Well, you could have told us you were 35. We would have believed you.
I don't know. I'm 22.
It's only about how you feel, right? I feel like
Yeah.
I'm 60 most days.
Right to me.
The back of an 80-year-old.
My wife asked me when I turned 40, said, how do you feel? I said, same as I did when I was 39. You know, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, there you go. That's a positive attitude.
Yeah.
That's the way to keep it. So you've got kids, and you are also recently the parent of a new teen driver.
Oh, God, yeah. That's giving the gray hair. See,
Tell us how that's going on, because we haven't had a guest on yet who's had any kids old enough to drive. What's that like?
That's a little scary. So, when I'm sure it's the same. When you was a kid, you thought the same things. You know, you thought, God, I'm going to be a great driver. I don't know why my mom and dad's always worried about me. Why can't I stay out till 10, 11 o'clock at night? I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to not be in any trouble. Good driver. But now I'm on the other end of it. I'm thinking, so he's 16. He'll be 17 here in November. We did a good parenting trick. His grades weren't where they needed to be, so we refused to sign him up for driver's ed. It was a great motivation tool to try to get those grades up.
Yeah, I believe it. They probably turned around right quick.
Well, yeah, I wish some of them did, but
Oh,
really, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of it, he waited us out. You know, I mean, he
Really?
tried. Yeah, he
Oh,
tried.
wow.
He does try with his stuff. There's just one class he struggles in that he just can't seem to grasp. But everything else, he's excels at. But we started thinking about our own laziness. Right? It'd be nice to say, well, I don't want to go to a dollar store. Let's too bad we can't send Jonathan down to get some milk. You know, get some whatever we need. So we we let him go, but he's a good kid. He worked all summer for that car. I mean, he has an '05 Mustang.
So he bought it himself.
Yeah, well, we bought all right, so the car where my father-in-law works at, we got a good deal on it. It was a rebuilt salvage car.
Okay.
And the passenger fender, front right was damaged up. The door, it swung out and caused a crease in that pillar there. So there was all kinds of crap on that side wrong, and the top needed to be replaced because of glass. So my son worked and all summer and saved up his money, and he paid for the paint, paid for some of the parts, and he even paid for the faults in the front to have those real fog lights because it's a V6, but they put the GT grill in the front. Whoever had it before, but it never was hooked up. So instead of splicing wires together and making like a little toggle switch, he paid $100 for the harness. And then he went and found a GT. My father-in-law found the GT light switch.
Okay.
So that way I tell him pull for cool. You know, if he wants the fog lights on, you got to pull to be cool. So it has that capability. So he did a lot of work to it. I found him a spoiler in Texas, and so we got to put a scoop. So they put the scoop on the hood, and it looks nice. And so he's taking really good care of it. And I'm hoping that now when he drives with his friends, if they want him to do something stupid, well, it's his money. He's put just about as much as we paid for the car. He's put about, if not more, into parts for it.
Good.
So,
Well, it sounds like you guys raised him right. I mean, that's good.
I hope.
Yeah, well, seems like it.
We'll
We'll
see.
find out when he's got to go past my house to get out of the neighborhood.
Right.
So I'll keep an eye on.
Well, I'm just waiting for 18. Once he's 18, it's the state's problem. You know, screws up that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But it's funny when you said about the incentive you gave him, like, hey, your grades aren't, so you're not going to driver's ed.
Right.
Because I feel like that could have two results. You'll either find out how much they want to drive and how fast they can turn those grades around, or you'll find out how little they care about cars. Because it seems like nowadays, from everyone I talk to that has teenagers, it semes like kids aren't as excited to drive anymore. I don't know what's going on.
Man, he is. Every time we go somewhere, he just wants to drive.
Good.
He was out there the other day, a couple days ago. There was the trim, the black trim on it was faded, you know, because it's an older car. And I had this, I bought this tire dressing stuff. It also works on the trim, and it's
the stuff that drives it out and cracks it later.
well, it was already dried out, cracks. It really couldn't do it.
All right.
This is from Chemical Guys. I mean, they have a lot of good products. I use all their crap. I mean, I feel like they should be paying me to wear a shirt or something.
We could use a sponsor.
Yeah, Chemical Guys make a great sponsor. I have all their products at the house, it seems like, and it does really well. It makes things, you can polish a turd and make it shine.
Yeah.
That thing, yeah. So he used that spray, and I mean, it looks nice and black all the way around it. I mean, it didn't have much to lose. It was already drying out and cracking, but he put too much on, and I came out the next day, actually yesterday, came out there, and I said, did you spray this on there? Did you spray it on the rag like I told you and lightly wipe it?
Oh, no.
And he said, I sprayed it on the rag. I said, how much did you spray on the wet rag? Because I see it going all the way down the side of the car, you know. Because what he didn't think was it was in the evening. And then nighttime dew set in, and it sits on his car, and it sits on that, and just ran down the side of the car. So there's streaks of that crap on the way down.
Shoot.
And instead of arguing about it, he just went, got the bucket, and started washing his car again.
Oh, well, good.
I mean, he loves that thing.
Good.
I mean, he's talking about how he'd like to learn how to, and we're not going to do it, but he'd like to put a V8 in a car one day. And I said, nah, you'd have to have a GT sitting there. And there's just a lot of parts. You'd have to take the parts out of it.
It'd be kind of redundant.
Right. All the stuff he'd have to take out of it to make this one work for that. He might as well just sell it and buy a GT one day.
Yeah.
When he's 18 on his own insurance.
There you go. So would you say overall it's been more of an exciting experience having a teen driving, or just
Yeah, it is.
terrifying?
It's a little both. It's kind of it's a weird way to put it, because you're excited for him. Because I look back to when I first got my license, and I was really excited about it. And it's fun seeing him be excited about it. I mean, he really wants to drive. And so the scary side of it is that you can't see him all the time, right? You don't know what he's doing. He has to drive that same road where we had that accident on. I mean, and we've been driving for a long time, but now I'm worried about my kid driving in the same spot. So we made ground rules with him because he should have his license next week. He's got to actually go to do the test. He finished his driver's ed, so now he's got to do the test next week. But I told him once he gets his license, he can't go on 315, can't go on 270. I mean, but he did all right on them. But I don't think what he realizes is all the traffic.
Yeah.
Go out there at 5 o'clock when everybody's trying to go home and see what happens.
Yeah, as a teen driver, that's scary to jump into.
Right. And so I told him, luckily today we have tools that we can use to track him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I really want to know, I can always look at his iPhone from my iPhone and see exactly where he's at any given moment. Verizon sells a lot of cool things you can hook up to the car that'll tell you when they break a perimeter, tell you where they're at. And I told him if he makes me mad, I'll buy a tuner. And the only thing I'll buy the tuner for is to hook it up to it and set a damn speedometer to only go 35. And if you want to drive 35 on 315 or 270, they're going to run you right off the road. So you have to stay to 35 roads.
Oh, geez. And then he's going to be like Sammy Hagar. Can't drive 55.
There you go. He can play that song all he wants.
Yeah.
Driving 35.
Nice. Well, he sounds like a good kid. And I'm excited to finally hear a good story. Like I said, everyone I talk to nowadays, it seems more and more just, my teen, he's 19, he doesn't have a license, he doesn't care. And I'm like, what?
Oh, no.
What? It wasn't like that when we were growing up. But
no, he used to watch NASCAR races when I was little, or when he was little with us.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, but kid wants to be a naval aviator, and then he changes from that to wanting to be in a submarine. So, I mean, it's
kind of a difference.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, one, you can't really fly underwater. But I don't know. He's still trying to find his direction. But I think at the end of the day, what he really wants to do is be a cop. So I think it's always been in his mind that what he does today is going to affect him tomorrow. So
good.
He doesn't want to make too many dumb mistakes.
That's something most kids, I know I didn't have that in my mind, or not as much as I should have. That your actions now affect later. So that's good. If you could instill that in him, boy, he's going to do just fine.
There's no key. There's no special sauce to do it. It's just
You say that.
I don't know. I mean, we have been smart alecks to him since he was born. So maybe that's what done it. I don't know.
Maybe. Huh.
Oh, he doesn't know. If you tell him something, he doesn't know if you're telling him the truth or not. But he's not going to believe you. You have to go find out himself. And that we raised him that way, so that way he's not gullible. I want him to. I don't want him to fall for it. If you fall for anything, I mean, it's just look like an idiot.
Yeah. If he's out there seeking his own information, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. Nice. Well, I tell you, kind of an odd segue here. Speaking of information, last week we talked about some of the cars that I saw at that car show the other month, and said a couple things. And I wanted to clarify a couple things, and I think you had a couple questions about some stuff. I know one thing Kyle and I had talked about was the new Jeep Gladiator. I had seen it there. I'd heard a little bit about it, and I heard a couple more things more recently since we last talked about it. Kyle had asked if it'll come with a V8 option. I found out it will not. You won't be able to get this Jeep Gladiator with a V8. It'll be a V6 only, which I guess they don't offer a Wrangler with a V8, so maybe that kind of makes sense. Why would they, from their eyes, why would they change it just for this one model? I think it'd be cool if they would offer a little 5.7 Hemi in it, but or even a smaller V8, but no V8s for the new Jeep Gladiator, at least for now. They also claimed that they're supposed to start in the 40s, low 40s. for this Jeep Gladiator. Now, I don't believe that as far as I can throw it. Because you look at a Jeep Wrangler now, and what does that cost you? I mean, high 40s?
Yeah.
And that's for a Wrangler, and this is like a fancy Wrangler.
Yeah.
You know? This is a Wrangler pickup.
Now, where are they making this at? Do you know? Are they making it in Toledo? I know they got a plant up that way.
I couldn't tell you.
Michigan right across. I don't know. It's Toledo or right across. That's where the plant is.
I think it's in the States, right? Because they make most of the Jeeps.
Well, I know there's a Jeep one there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know they don't make the Rams here anymore, but the Jeeps, I think they make them here. I hope. So, excuse me. Yeah. I was kind of sad to hear about the no V8 option and the price. There's no way. There's no way that they'll have this new model coming out. All these Jeep people will be excited. It's going to be in the 50s, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but I mean, for me, to be honest, I'd rather have that new Ford Bronco that's supposed to be coming out. I mean, you heard about, so they're going to have two, right? You heard about it's Bronco Junior and then the Bronco.
I've been hearing about the Bronco since '01. All they do is make concept cars. It seems like OJ ruined the Bronco for everybody, and now we can't get one.
They should give that poor guy one, yeah.
The first model?
Give him the white one, the first white one that comes out. Let him have it. Just give it to him.
Jeez.
Yeah,
but they won't seem to make them.
Well, so what they're saying now is the Junior, I think, is supposed to come out this year at the end of the year. Be the 2020 car. Yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
That'll be the first one that comes out.
Is this supposed to be based on the like the Ranger chassis?
I think so, and I think it's supposed to be like what kind of makes you the Bronco 2 on the smaller size.
Yeah.
I think it's what they're kind of the idea behind this. But the real Ford Bronco, I mean, that's supposed to come out next year.
Okay.
And they said the doors will be removable, the top will come off. So
they've been saying this since the Bush administration.
Well, maybe.
I'm waiting. I mean, I want to see it because I know people personally that'll go out and buy it. First week they're on the lots, but they got to make it first. They got to produce it.
Well, I'm waiting for them to come out with something great because I mean, Ford here lately been making. So we drive this old Escape. Right? It's not because I don't want to buy another car. It's because I just like that style. I like my SUVs kind of boxy. I don't really want them to be all rounded minivan looking like a crossover. That seems like what every one of them's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like the new Escape that Ford just came out with. They were just talking about we completely redesigned, and it's not redesigned. It looks the same as the other one, really, and it's.
But it looks different from yours because they are sleeker now.
Yeah.
Everything's sleek.
Since 2013, I think, is when they started making a difference. But man, it's that new one looks like a Mazda. What, a CX-5, CX-6? I can't remember. It's a little.
Well, I mean, it would be a Mazda, right?
Well, yeah.
Ford Mazda. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but the design looks the same. So I mean, why not just buy a Mazda? So I was really disappointed because I wanted, when this new one came out, I really was hoping it was going to be different, and it's not, because we're wanting to buy another one. But instead, we've got I think it's an 04 and a 09, because we like those styles.
So you guys are literally a Ford family.
Seems like it. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, it seems like it.
I'm going to drop off a Chevy just in your driveway. It won't be running or anything. I'm just going to drop off.
Well, of course it won't be running.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Chevy.
Wow. Oh, I thought you meant because I worked on it. Oh, shoot. Get out of here.
No, but yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it's sit out there in the middle of the night, the other cars beat it up. I don't know. There's all them Fords surrounding it.
Maybe. Well, you got kids. You probably seen Cars a lot. I mean, you might believe in that stuff.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, Christine was a scary movie.
Hey, cars do have souls, though. I'm telling you. Funny story. Here's a tangent. So my Camaro, since I've owned it, only 2 other people have driven it other than me. And only 2, well, I shouldn't say only 2 times, but only 2 people have driven it, and twice it's broken on those people. It's never really broken on me. One time it died, the voltage regulator died, but so a buddy of mine in 2012, when we redid all the suspension, the brakes and everything, when we did the big rebuild on it, pulled the motor, put it back in and everything that I talked about a little bit recently, just kind of, obviously I had compensated his time in other ways, but also I was like, I'll let him drive it here. So I got a few drives in, and I was like, you take over. No sooner did he pull out of the neighborhood, and the vacuum modulator line fell off the back of my brand new built transmission. So we thought we lost all the gears because it wouldn't come out of first because it didn't know how to shift. And I had just let him drive it. Like the first time he'd ever driven it, I'd never let anybody else drive it. He drives it, gets in, we lose the line. It won't shift. Another time, had an alignment shop align it, and I even asked them, I was like, hey, do you mind if I pull it in? And they let me pull it into their shop, let me pull it onto the rack, and went back to the front of the shop. Well, of course, the assholes didn't tell me when it was done. So I hear my car coming around the building, which it's whatever, it's their shop. But guy comes around and he does a full lock-to-lock 180 in the parking lot, which no big deal, but it's a hot rod, and he blows the power steering line. So 2 people have driven that car. 2 people have broken it. I'm telling you, if that doesn't have a soul, I don't know what does.
Yeah, well, but it's kind of like reverse Christine, though, right? Because Christine fixes herself. And then she goes kills the person that hurt him. So, I mean,
Yeah, but
at least she's got a good soul.
Yeah, but Christine liked the kid. I figure my car likes me.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. It wasn't hurting you. It was hurting everybody else.
Yeah.
But it didn't kill him, though. See, Christine would have came out and killed him in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, the car hasn't gone after my wife yet, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll find out. Well, it's probably because I give it enough attention. Now, if I ever completely just mothball it in there, maybe they'll
Well,
see what happens.
if its windows start become really black tint, you can't see in it anymore, and it sits outside just purring for no reason.
Yeah. Oh, if the car ever starts itself in the middle of the night, I'm out. I'm out. Or maybe it'd be because of my shoddy wiring.
Yeah. Yeah, you've seen that movie, right? So at the end, they crushed that car, right?
Yeah.
They crushed it down to a cube.
Yeah, Christine's a great movie. Great
Yeah,
car
so
movie.
why didn't it stretch itself back out?
Well, it does, right? Doesn't that movie end with
Kind of starts moving.
the camera zooming in, it's in a pile, and like the antenna comes up or
right?
something,
And
right?
it kind of makes, I think, a light or something, was it, that lit up? Something happened with
I think the radio.
That's what
the radio comes
Yeah.
back on. Yeah, folks, if you haven't seen Christine, go see Christine.
Oh, that's
it's
a good movie.
you know, it's actually kind of creepy. I mean, there's some parts like the kid at the end when he's all like zombie looking.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, when he comes through the window.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
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 I've forgotten about that movie. I haven't seen that in a while.
That's when he dies, right? 'Cause I don't want to give it away, so let's watch it. But
Well, shit, it's
Yeah.
too late.
yeah, because Christine gets crumpled.
You gave it away 5 minutes
that's
ago.
it. Don't have to watch the movie now. We just told you about Siskel and Ebert here about this movie, but but that was yeah. I mean, I always wondered that about it. Why did it just all the things that people done before to it, but this magic crusher all of a sudden just kept it in a cube.
Well, that was the one thing about the movie. They never set up why this car was haunted. Because remember, it was on the assembly line, and a guy got in with a cigar.
Right, and it was
he dropped
screwed
a
in.
cigar. Maybe I remember this better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he drops a cigar on the seat, and the car like smogs him to death.
Yeah. I guess some guys working on it afterwards, wasn't he? He's sitting in there and they shut the doors, lock, and it kills him.
Yeah,
that was
it
the
like
cigar guy,
the car turns on or something, smokes him to death, whatever. But
And he finds it sitting in that guy's junkyard. Remember, so his
Yeah.
brother died or something, and
yeah, he finds it sitting in your father-in-law's yard.
yeah, it'd be where it'd be.
Does he have any 59 Plymouths?
Yeah, no, he don't, but I wish he did.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, man. Every time I go to the car shows, I always seek out those cars.
Yeah.
I always want, but I don't really see anybody. I see a lot of clones, but none that actually are that car. That always. I like that car.
Yeah.
But if I had one, it would creep me out. I mean, it would. If I looked in the garage and seen it sitting there, I'd be waiting on the radio to come on and crap.
Yeah, something like, because it's a creepy looking car. I mean, and plus it's a 50s Chrysler. I mean,
Waiting on the end.
Wait, Fury. Yeah, Plymouth
Fury.
So it's a 50s Chrysler. I don't early Chrysler stuff. That kind of confuses me. I mean, I'm a Dodge guy, but boy, you asked me to work on something from the 50s and Chrysler, it might take me a minute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd take it. If anybody wants to give me one, I'd take it.
Oh, I'll take
I'm
anything.
not gonna turn it down.
I'll take your Ford Escape if you want to give it to me.
Well, we call that one Rusty. Which one? We got Frosty and Rusty.
Hey, Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty's the white one. See, it's so call that one Frosty. We got a Rusty because it's a rust bucket.
So what do you call the Mustangs?
I don't have a name for the black one. I don't know. My wife has a name for the blue one. I have no idea. I just call them awesome cars. I think that's what I call them.
I like it.
My little girl names them. So, and the name changed like a fart in the wind every time she gets in it. So she always calls mine. I mean, it's a black car, so it's not really. She calls it Blackie. I mean, it's not like it's a Black Beauty, stuff like that. I mean, that's what she calls it. I just, as long as it starts, I call it Happy. I'm glad. Yeah.
As long
Let's
as
go.
it
Let's go ride.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, got kind of off topic there, but
Yeah. Christine will do that.
yeah, that's a good movie, folks.
Talk about
Go see
Bullet
it.
next. Talk about the Bullet chase scene or something.
We could, we might have to have a whole show just for car movies,
Oh yeah.
and we could probably do it. We could probably have a show just for car movies sometime. But anyway, one other thing I wanted to talk about a little more that changed since last episode was the Camaro Exhaust. Had a couple updates on that. Go check on that.
Is that Christine coming to get? That's your Camaro coming to get us for talking about it?
Maybe. Kind of weird. So the dog's going crazy up there. Camaro Exhaust.
Yeah.
Last time we talked, I know I was mentioning I was going to put the MagnaFlows on. Ended up trying those MagnaFlows. They were just it's weird because how Flowmasters have codes. Flowmaster 40 series, 50 series, Delta, all that. I feel like MagnaFlows don't really have codes. Like there was just I got in the Summit catalog and the Jags catalog, and they were just MagnaFlows. And I found the sizes that would work for me and fit, and bought them and put them on this X pipe that I had put on the car, and I couldn't believe it. The sound just went down to like 50 decibels. Like it was too quiet. It sounded like an 80s C10 with like stock mufflers. I couldn't believe it because I thought Magnaflows were supposed to sound pretty good, but it quieted down too much. And because I know that's what I talked about, I was trying to quiet the car down a little bit. But I ended up taking them off, returned them, and so right now I ended up just putting in some S pipes to just complete the exhaust. So right now it's still 2.5-inch X pipe, and then just 2.5-inch all the way back straight pipes. There's no resonators, no mufflers, no cats, and it sounds good, but it's a little raspy. I need to find something to catch that sound a little bit. And I don't have much room for resonators because I was looking at SLP loudmouths, and I just don't have the room for them. So I'm actually thinking about putting just high flow cats on.
I told you it sounds good the way it is. I like the way it, but of course I'm not inside of it.
Yeah. No. Well, it sounds great now because I also put some sound deadening in when we did the subframe connectors. I put some foam headliner stuff on, so I think that helped out a lot. But having those Flowmaster 40s gone now, I think that helped a little bit with the sound reverb. So it sounds great inside the car now. It sounds more like an LS. When I get on it and drive it, it actually sounds more like an LS Vet than it ever did before. So I'm going the right direction for the exhaust. But now, like when I shift or when I get on it, around like 1500, it's raspy. It lets out a big kind of rasp, and it just sounds kind of So think about trying cats. See if I can bring it down like 10 decibels. Maybe it'll bring that rasp down.
Wasn't that what X pipes are kind of known for, is raspy sound, though?
Are they? I don't know. I
know it was in the Mustang world. If you want like a raspy kind of high, like a high sound, it's usually the X pipe. But if you want that deep sound, it's H pipe.
Well, you got Ford Mustang. I mean, you guys are all H pipe people. I mean, that's why Mustangs sound so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have X pipes. I mean, you can tell the difference when they go by.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of exhaust. I mean, the muffler, you can tell.
I don't know if I can tell the difference between an X and an H going by. On a Mustang, I probably could. But,
yeah, they sound completely different.
Here's what I've always heard with the two, and this is going to vary based on car and engine and stuff, but X pipes flow better, H pipes sound better.
Yeah, I don't fault anybody for it. It's their car. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But it's a sound. It's kind of what people are shooting for, so I don't know. I just had an H pipe on it, but I would have put an H pipe on if it didn't. They come stock with H pipes, too. I mean, factory stock.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. They don't have a Y pipe?
No. So at least on my wife's, it's stock. It's got an H pipe inside of it. So each one on her 2010, because mine was already done. So I didn't have to do anything with that.
And you have Flowmasters on yours, right?
Well, that's what I'm told. But remember, we looked at it. We don't even see I think we looked and couldn't see if they had a Flowmaster.
You're right.
On it.
You're right. There weren't, and they didn't look like Flowmasters. They were more boxy, which Flowmasters have some boxy mufflers, but they didn't look like the rounded chambered normal mufflers.
I don't know. That's just what I was told what it was. That's what I always say it is, but I've never really looked at it.
Hell with it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. No, it does. It does.
When it falls off, I guess I'll figure that out then. Like, oh, well, let's not get...
I'll never argue with anybody about Mustangs sounding good. I mean, they're some of the best sounding cars. They really are. I mean, LS's, Vets and everything, they sound really good at high RPM, but Mustangs just all around. For an all-around sound, I mean, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, that 76 Mustang, I know a lot of people... that might know about the 76, they're going to say, Mustang 2, I hate those cars, right? They call them lost ponies.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Yeah, King, Mustang 2s, yeah, those are kind of hit or miss with a lot of people.
Well, so when I first met her, when she told me she had that Mustang 2, I was like, oh. I didn't want to run it down, right, because I didn't see it. I didn't want to run it down. Yeah. I'm thinking, when I was little, my dad had one in the 80s, and it was it had a vinyl top on it, it was more like a Baguia, the Ghia style, and so that's what I thought I was getting into when I seen hers. But no, her dad bought that, and I brought her home from the hospital in it, so it's always been with him, and it's her car now. And one day it'll be my little girl's car. That seems to be the path. Always goes to the girl. But anyway, so that car, he put just little design things he done differently to it. Like he took the pinstripes off the side of it. There's that molding that they put on the side of those cars. That's all off of it. He took it's a spoiler. I can't remember what car it came off of. It was like a Toyota or something like that. And he put it on the back. And just that alone, that one modification, changed the entire look of it.
Really?
And it's not a Ghia. It's solid metal. It has nothing to do with the Ghia tops, and it's not a Ghia design. And it actually looks really good. I mean, it's a stock factory V8. It's not one of the few, but if you look back in history in the 70s, the reason why these cars were so underpowered was because of the gas crisis and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the mid-'70s weren't good for anything. Unfortunately, the Mustang 2s just kind of get a bad... I mean, I think they're a little ugly, but nobody likes mid-'70s Camaros either. I mean, you know.
Well, he's got one of those too in his
Really?
garage. Yeah, he's got a 70, I think 79 sitting in there.
Oh, well, that's when they were starting to get good. What's he doing with that? I might be interested in that.
Well, he's wanting to sell it, I think, because it's
Really?
just sitting there. Yeah, it's a Z28. It's just sitting there. It's got a weird color though. It's like a green, like a cream green looking or something.
What condition is it in?
Garage sitting condition. It's been sitting there for multiple. I mean, it starts. Hey, you can come down and look at it.
Could I get it cheaper if he takes the whole drivetrain out of it?
Probably not.
Shoot. What kind of deal is he running?
Well, if he watches this, he'll get a chuckle out of it. But what he likes to say is, "I ain't feeding it," so he's not worried if it sits there. It goes somewhere else.
Yeah, if you got room and they're not in the way. So.
I asked him once, "What are you gonna do with that?" He goes, "I don't know. I ain't feeding it, so I'm not worried about it." Like, all right, well, that's a good point.
It's a good analogy. I never thought about that. Yeah, if you're not, because that's the problem with cars, maintaining them and everything, and keeping up with them. But if it's just sitting there and it's not in the way, shoot.
Well, yeah, it's not like it's
Drive a hard bargain.
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's dilapidated or anything, but I mean, I'm sure it would start right up. I mean, I've only ever sat in it once, because where it's sitting at, it's not really in a great place to get to it. But I mean, it's got its own garage bay, it just sits there. I don't know how in the world we got to that, but yeah. So her got off.
Oh, you mentioned Camaro.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, so back to that darn Mustang. So yeah, that 76 looks really nice. I like her car, and right now it's the plan is that he wants to take the whole motor out of it. He wants to rebuild it. Wants to paint the whole car again. Wants to paint the engine bay, get it all really nice, and he wants to take it to Carlisle for the Ford Nationals. Well, probably next year now because it's always too late for this, but because it's coming up here soon, in the next few months.
So is he trying to make it look more original, or is he trying to hot rod it?
Well, there's a difference. My wife and him differ on it. So he would like to have it looking original, but she likes the way it looks now, because I think how it looks now is how it's always looked to her, this style. But he remembers when it looked, stock, and
yeah,
I think they kind of differ on that. But he's going to do what she wants. That stripe that we have on her 2010. So she's been wanting her car striped forever. And as long as I've known her, she's wanted that 76 stripe. And her dad flat refused to stripe it because the stripe she wanted was the 2 rally stripes over it and then the chaser stripes along the side of it. He said he's not going to do it because that's not the way they came. Well, when they went to Ford Nationals, my wife was happy to find one sitting there. It was a Mustang 2, and it had those stripes. And he said, no, this came factory like this. Whether it did or not, I don't know, but it was a win for her. So we got the stripes on her 2010, and she wants to take the same stripes and put them on that 76. Okay. Maybe a little narrower, but it'll be the same style stripe.
Well, hey, I'd like to see maybe even a little both. Maybe just a little hot rodding of the original kind of version, because you can make them look good. I haven't seen a whole lot of good-looking ones, but I know they're out there. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see where that goes.
Well, the sole thing that you're talking about, I mean, that car for him, my wife, a few times I've been in it, it's had its issues. I mean, it likes her, but it hates to keep that darn the radiator together for her. I mean, the radiator used to always literally blow at the top, and they always wanted to find a stock radiator to put back in it, but it's kind of hard to find those because they call them, like I said earlier, they call them lost ponies because nobody liked them. Yeah. So they just sat and junked, and actually that's what's kind of making the value of these things go up, because when you see a nice one or you just see one period, you don't really see them that much anymore. You have to go to a car show to see them. No one really drives them around. So the people that did hang on to them actually have something now, and so when he drives it, that sucker will fly. I mean, it's like all 8 cylinders are just running beautiful.
Really?
It will fly. I mean, I don't care. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he says to it. I don't know what he does. But I get into it. It's like I just move around. It don't feel that fast, like it's going to do anything. And my wife, it's never acted that way to her.
Huh.
It just wants to boil over the radiator on her.
Huh.
But for him, that thing loves him.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe the soul thing is there for. The car's like, I know you want me to go to your daughter, but I'd rather really just stay here for now.
It could be. Could be talking to him.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to get to original shape.
Well, he's like I said, they're working on it. So hopefully you'll hear it. Hopefully you'll see it. You'll definitely hear it. It's carbureted, and its exhaust, man, it is loud. I mean, it wakes up the whole. Because when you're starting up a carbureted car, you got to really and rev it up and get it to go and start it and rev it, and eventually it gets running. Especially on a cold morning, that ain't gonna want to run. You gotta sit there forever getting that thing to run.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's in the carburetor too. These should have a, they'll have an idle circuit if you you can hit it right or get the high idle going,
Yeah.
I guess, depending on the temperature. But most of them don't work right. So yeah, you got to sit in the car and keep it running until it's warmed up. And yeah, I've been there, definitely been there.
Yeah, so it'll be up here. Well, after that accident, I don't know when it's going to be up here, but because the accident kind of scared her, she doesn't want to bring it up. She's afraid of. Like I said, there was no way we could have stopped it. So she's always picturing, man, I'll get that thing fixed. And
I worry about that a lot. Like I never. I shouldn't say never, but I try not to take my Camaro out at rush hour, which I do anyway. I just go different routes, but it's there's got to be a little give and take with that, because if something's going to happen, you can't avoid it. I mean, we're living in the city here.
Yeah.
You kind of have to just bear with it.
Well, so the compromise we came up with is we bought Frosty, that 2009 Ford Escape. Yeah. So we bought Frosty, which you thought I meant we got rid of her car, I think. Remember that?
Yeah, there was some confusion in texting. I thought you got rid of it because she was scared of someone, which seemed kind of...
No. So we got it to put it in the garage, because once it was fixed, I didn't want so much as a rocket, and neither did she, but we bought Frosty so we can drive on rainy days, snowy days, crappy days, but on beautiful days, or days it's not going to rain, it is a car, so you want to drive it.
Yeah.
So she gets it out and drives it. But the fun thing about that is she'll come home and talk about how she almost got a speeding ticket, because you don't really realize when you're accelerating in that Mustang. Whereas Frosty, it's it's a little different.
yeah, it's definitely different than a
4-cylinder versus V8.
yeah, just half the power, less. But yeah. Well, Jeremy, I tell you one thing we're going to start trying to do here on the show, do a new segment every week, is Jegs' weirdest part of the week.
Yeah.
Jegs.
Jags.
Yeah.
I was picturing it in my head. You need to put that in there.
So let me deepen it down a little bit.
Jags. Well, you put the stickers in your windows.
Yeah.
Automatic 10 horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
You put 2 on, that's 20.
Yeah, Summit's at least 5 horsepower.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah.
So
we're going to start doing a new segment every week called Jegs' Weirdest Part of the Week. And this week, we have got, if I can read upside down here, Orchestrating Attitude. Getting the best from yourself and others. A motivational book.
Jegs, huh?
Jegs sells that. And I found a whole section where they sell motivational books. What does that say?
On the backside there?
Yeah, Cornerstone Leadership.
Wow.
Author, Lee Colin.
Ships today if you need it.
Ships today.
Yeah.
It's probably because they're
Ships
trying to
today.
get rid of them.
Yeah.
Notice the price discount?
Well, yeah. Well, you got to use the spring saving code to do it, right? So, wow, man.
Yeah. So, honestly, I found these things. That's kind of why I came up with this segment. Obviously, there's other strange parts they sell that we'll discuss as the show goes on here with different episodes. But, yeah, orchestrating attitude. So if you're about to get in your drag car and you want to learn how to get the best out of yourself and others,
yeah,
Jegs has your book.
Wow, well, they may not have the parts you need, but they've got this book, right?
Yeah.
They definitely got the book.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Huh.
Why does a parts company?
That makes me want to look it up. It's only, $5 now? That's what the price is? $5.48?
You gonna buy it?
Well, I might. Maybe I'll give a book review on this. It can't be that hard. Maybe I'll have a great attitude after reading this.
You should.
Yeah.
I think we should make a video of that for the show, of you opening the Jegs box, throwing the stickers aside, and orchestrating attitude, your motivational leadership.
No, I
book.
gotta wear the sticker.
Yeah, well,
Because I gotta read it fast.
Okay.
It gives you that horsepower to read faster. So it works on people.
Yeah,
And
well,
cars.
as long as you get the yellow hat with it, I guess it's all worth it.
They did give my little girl a hat.
Yeah?
Yeah, they had a little I wanted a sticker. I was going to put it in my toolbox, but I'm still giving them shit about a sticker.
Oh, if you need stickers, I got like 100 pages of stickers.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. But yeah, well, that'd be all right. But they gave her a little hat. She wears hats all the time, and she was sitting there watching a NASCAR race, like an old NASCAR, and on the TVs they had in there. And man, she said, why don't they race like that anymore? How come? She just at 6 years old said, "That I like that." It was just constantly wrecking like cars, just disintegrating in the track and stuff.
She loved it, huh?
Yeah. She watches the races with me on Sundays, and man, it's boring. It really is. She gets bored and she goes off and does something else. But anyways, the guy watched her do that at Jegs, and he said, here, he gave her a little hat and stuff, and she liked it.
That's awesome.
I wish I would have got this book though. The book's about the same price as the hat.
You order it tomorrow, it'll ship tomorrow.
Well, ships today. I wonder if I can get... Is it lying to me now?
It's a little late here.
Well, I can't help it. That's what it says. Ships today.
I bet you Summit will have it here faster.
Probably, but they'll charge you $12 shipping and handling to get a $5 book to you.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get that thing in a box? But they'll apparently $12 worth.
So this is a new segment we're going to try and have some fun with here as the show goes on. But Something else I wanted to start trying to do with folks is wanted to ask a question. It's kind of might be loaded, might not, but why do you love cars? What about cars do it for you?
I don't know. I think it's just something to work on, something to do. Like my wife always says, for my car. Well, now I'm not gonna get the book and threw it on the floor. I don't know the name of it now. I have to watch the video. So my wife, she always tells me, I always look for my car to find something broken. I want to fix it. I don't look for things broke, but maybe subconsciously I do. So it's like having something to do. I go out in the garage, and then just messing around with it, finding something to screw around with it. And once you get it fixed up and take it down the road, I mean, probably nobody's even looking at you, but I have fun. So that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's what it is for me. Just freedom of something to do, break the monotony. Because I mean, my job. If anybody knew me, my job has nothing to do with cars whatsoever. I mean, I'm an IT guy, so it's a great way to get away. Get away from doing that.
Yeah. It's quite a change up.
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't have anything to do with the computer when I'm not doing work. So this is perfect.
I think that's why a lot of people do cars. I mean, just because it's a departure from their normative reality, what they normally do, and I mean, I guess that's what any hobby is for people, but cars, yeah, you got to focus on them.
I love looking at them too. So when I go to car shows, it's not, the thing I love about cars is the smell. Maybe that's for, you get up to one of them old cars, man, it's that smell that rolls out of there.
Smell that fuel leaking.
I smell the fuel. You smell that leather, that old leather. You smell when they throw those magazines in there from like the 50s, and you got that old paper smell coming out of there. I don't know. It's the smell. And then when they start them up, that's when you smell that exhaust. And that's just real American power right there. You smell.
It is a good smell.
And it's just, I mean, even my little girl at 6, she loves that smell.
Yeah.
When I bring my Mustang in, she loves that smell.
You might want to keep her away from that smell for now.
Well, yeah, let the brain cells. So. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I can sit and look at an old car at a car show and just, pretend what it might look like when it was when it was live running around with its friends, back in the old days.
I know what you mean. The sights and sounds, as they say.
Yeah.
Sights, sounds, and smells. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a lot to it. Nice. So we had a couple questions that people had asked us way back on like episode 2. I say way back, 2 episodes ago. It feels like way back. And there were some questions we didn't get to. I was going to see if we could do a couple of those here. One of my buddies, he has one of the new Ford Transit vans. I say new, I think it was a few years old. And it's starting to rust. It's like a 16 or 17. I don't think he knows cars that well because everything rusts nowadays as soon as you get it. But, he was kind of asking, like, is this normal? Should I expect this out of anything new I buy? And I mean, what do you think? I kind of feel like some people think it's like manufacturing defects and quality reduction in new car production, and that's definitely a part of it, but I feel like it's just everything. I feel like just new cars nowadays just aren't built that great, and they'll, a lot of things come just no finish on them, and they'll rust. And
well, the metal, I mean, you always hear them saying that the metal now is supposed to be designed so it doesn't rust as well, or it doesn't rust as quick. But I know that our 2010 Mustang, there's no rust underneath of it, but it has some undercoating on it, right? But not something blasted like you'd see like a bed of a truck or something. But
well, and maybe I should clarify. When I say rust, I mean like surface rust. But nobody wants to see surface rust on their car that they still owe $40,000 on and $20,000 on.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just depends on a lot where you live. I mean, when I lived in Iowa, the reason why Rusty's called Rusty is because there's salt always on the roads. I mean, they put salt down in the fall and they don't take it off the spring. So, I don't know if it really stands up any different. But I mean, God, I remember when, Lord, when was it? It was Yugos.
Yeah,
remember those old
Yugos from the late 70s, early 80s?
Like
from
from Yugoslavia. Okay. And Toyotas and stuff back then, man, those things came off the lot with like the fenders all rusted out of.
Well, Yugos were the ones that always had the joke, right, about the heated rear windows. So when you're pushing them, your hands were warm.
Yeah.
I think that's where that joke originated.
Might have been. I don't know.
Yugos.
I was wondering the other day what happened to those cars, but
well, they all rusted.
Well, yeah, they all rusted. Well, I don't know why they keep making them. I guess.
Well, the Soviet Union fell apart.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, Yugoslavia needs money, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I started thinking about a Yugo now for some reason. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Those things are junk, man. I wouldn't want to get caught. Well, you would get caught dead in them if you got an accident. I mean, I don't know. But they rusted a lot. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So I don't know. He wanted us to discuss a little bit, and I feel like I'd like to say some positive stuff, but I personally think cars just aren't made like they used to. Maybe bodies won't rust as easily. Maybe we'll find out. But you know, a lot of things are going to aluminum. I think that'll help. But anymore, I think most of the rust is surface rust. You know, people have a brand new car. It'll be a year or two old, so new, and they'll see surface rust on everything, the manifolds, drive shaft, steering stuff, and they'll think, oh, it's junk, it's rusty, and really it's just that the manufacturer doesn't surface coat anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a cost savings. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe things are going to junk. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you make a good product that lasts a long time, nobody wants to buy anything new. I mean, maybe that's, but they say that the metal is supposed to be a lot better now. They're not supposed to rust as much. You know, I don't know. The coatings that they have on it and the engineering of the actual metal, it's supposed to be a lot more resilient to it. But
well, here's something actually, and I'll tell the guests to bring your input on this or send us videos. I was car shopping with one of my brother-in-laws recently, and went up to one of the newer F-150s with the aluminum bodies, and it's the only time I had thought to, well, he did it, and I've never seen it done elsewhere, so I'm curious if it's just this one or all of them. But he went up to one of the new F-150s and went up to the driver's side door, and in the middle of it, he pushed on it. Not very hard. I mean, he just pushed on it, and the whole thing, like, concaved.
Yeah.
And, you know, metal will move a little bit on a door because it's really thin there, but, I mean, this whole door, I mean, it, from, like, edge to edge, like, moved in. Now, it came back to how it was, but I was like,
I wouldn't like that.
I was like, I don't think that's normal. So I'm curious if all the aluminum F-150s are just kind of like that, or if it was just this one. I'd be curious to hear. I don't think anyone will write us in and be like, yeah, my F-150 sucks.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm still paying on it too.
Yeah. So, hey, you know, but we appreciate honesty here on the show.
It's like a house payment to pay for that thing.
Yeah, so I'm curious because I don't have a lot of interaction with the aluminum truck bodies. You know, I hear good things, but again, it's, you know, most of my experience is all hearsay. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about the, since you're talking about those F-150s, because I'm thinking about getting one. I mean, when Rusty bites the dust, and Rusty is biting the dust soon. If anybody wants to buy a good mudding vehicle, let me know.
Mudding? It's
Yeah,
front-wheel
it's
drive, isn't it?
No, it's four-wheel drive.
Really?
Yeah, it's four-wheel
I
drive.
didn't know they made escapes with all-wheel drive.
Yeah. Four-wheel drive.
So you can take it out of.
Well, you know, there's nothing, no hand. It's just a little switch.
Okay, but it.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't know they made any four-wheel drive
Well,
escapes.
it's auto, so it'll do it if you slip.
Really?
Or you can just force it in four-wheel drive. Yeah, don't try to ruin my sale.
I didn't know that.
No.
I'm not calling you a liar.
Well, I can bring it over here. We can get the camera and look at it. It's
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, no. But you can just put some big old knobby tires on it. Put on some suspension and flip it. I mean, I'll sell it to you cheap. I don't care.
And when you say flip it, you mean flip it.
I mean, literally flip the sucker. Don't try to. I mean, if you can make some money off of it, well, go ahead.
Somebody lifts an escape. Boy, this thing's going to roll worse than a Navigator.
Yeah. I mean, flip. Hey, I've seen some people do some things to some old Geo trackers, man.
Yeah. I've seen some Geos on some mutters. I saw a show recently with an AMC Pacer. You remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those on big, like, 35s.
You see a lot of them. People do it kind of like I've seen Mustangs. That's up real high.
Yeah.
I mean, you could damn near limbo underneath of it. I mean, why? I don't want that.
Yeah. Man, speaking of lifted cars, one day, way back when, it was like 7 or 8 years ago, I was pulling up to a light around town, and I'm in the Camaro, pull up to the light, and I'm front row right there in the light, and what pulls up next to me? A third-gen Camaro on a Blazer chassis on like 33s. It was bright yellow, and it was clean. It was like a new build, fresh build. And, man, I wish a spectator could have gotten a picture, because it was kind of cool, because Camaro's slammed to the ground, and then there's this big hillbilly third gen as high as the sky. And I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I love it. I love it. I don't know if I would build one, but I do like it. I like there's people doing these things, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anybody wants to do anything to their car, I really don't care. I mean, it's their car. I mean, it fits their personality. But I don't know. I look at some things like, someone should have told you no.
Oh, there's definitely things. Yeah, there's definitely questionable stuff.
You don't have somebody know in your life. You got to have somebody know. Someone said, no, that's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, good stuff poorly executed or bad.
Well, hey, at least Walmart stopped selling those spinner rims. You know, they used to have those.
Walmart sold wheels?
Oh, the rim. Yeah, the caps.
The caps. I remember the spinner cup caps.
Yeah, people go down.
Nobody sells those anymore?
Well, I haven't seen them.
Oh, shoot.
Well, I hope not. You can get some of that, and you get those cherry bombs at the end. Oh, man, you'd be Walmart special going down the road. Poke a hole in your exhaust.
Man, I still see the cherry bombs around every now and then, but spinners, excuse me, those really are out now. Those aren't in anymore, are they?
No. But I mean, I see the people actually want to spend the money and get the real wheels now.
I don't even see the wheels anymore. I don't see anything. Spinners are kind of out. It's kind of a subject I don't know much about, but
well, I shouldn't have to know anything about it, to be honest. I
was never huge into spinners.
If your car stops moving, your wheels should too.
Well, car stops, rims keep spinning.
Yeah, they just keep going. Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah. Hey, what are you gonna do?
Well, it makes it really hard for people who are drinking and driving, right? They can't really judge accurately if they're moving or not moving. You got to think about the other people on the road. You can't confuse people like that.
Well, hey, since we just found out you love spinner rims, this is a good segue.
I don't like spinning rims. We'll see where it goes.
Dream cars.
Yeah.
What is your reality-based something you could have dream car?
Well,
something you could buy, not necessarily tomorrow, but soon. A reality.
I want a '69 Mach 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly because you can't find them. Mostly because they rust a lot. But man, yeah, I'd like that. Or the Eleanor car. Maybe not. I like. Oh, if family's watching this, they like the original Gone in 60 Seconds version, but I like the Nicolas Cage version better.
Well, the original was a 71 Mach 1, right?
Yeah.
70 or 71?
I think it's 71. I think it is. I have to look again, but
those are another Mustang that's kind of hit or miss with folks.
I mean, I don't hate it. Don't get me wrong, but that one that was in Nicolas Cage, well, that I think is
that's a 67.
Yeah.
67 500.
That is a beautiful car.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of companies that make those Eleanor conversions.
Yeah, I don't want to convert. I mean, yeah, you could take a new one, but yeah, I've seen people do that.
Well, not even that. I mean, we talked about that a little bit on an earlier episode. The resto, well, not even the resto,
yeah,
but the conversions where they put an old body on a new chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's companies out there you give them your Mustang, even if it's not a fastback, you can get a fastback conversion. They'll make they'll change the top, put it a fastback, because that's a lot of the look on that car is that sweeping fastback. The notchback Mustangs aren't quite as popular, but the Eleanor is a great looking car.
Well, the original one in Gone 60 Seconds, I'd have to go back and look at, but there's a lot of interesting information on how many of the cars they actually totaled in that movie.
Yeah, well, you say which one? Nicolas Cage or
no, the one before that.
Okay, I don't even know.
I can't remember his name,
and
someone's going to blast us in the comments for not knowing the guy's name.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people probably don't know there was another one. A lot of people don't know there's another.
He died in the next movie that he made. God, I need to remember the name of that one too. I think it was Gone in 60 Seconds 2 is what somebody was calling. But you can watch it on YouTube. I mean, you can actually look for the movie, and it doesn't really show him dying, but it shows the scene where he actually really died. He cut across, and there's something about the light pole. The light pole fell down like when it was a stunt, because he did all of his own stunts.
Yikes.
And it came down and it really got him. That's why the movie never was finished. His wife released it.
Well, geez, I've never had the reality dream car segment go so dark here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, he died, but you know what? That was a long time ago. I mean, he's got kids, I'm sure. He'll be all right.
Well, you're making this worse here.
They're making the money. Well, no.
He's got kids.
He's got kids. They got money now, I'm sure. Yeah. Maybe they'll learn what not to do. Don't go doing stupid stuff with your car. I don't know.
Boy, anyway, from Mustangs to death.
What's crowd control?
You're just an upbeat guy.
I told you.
Yeah, crowd control.
See, that thing was trying to. There's probably a person standing next to the light pole. I have to watch the movie again.
So 69 Mach 1.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, if you want to buy me one.
No.
No.
So you listened to last week then, where I said my like sky's the limit for right now would be a 69 Mustang, not necessarily a Mach 1.
No, I want the Mach 1. Yeah. Well, I want the Mach 1 though.
I love 69 Mustangs. Right now, just something about that shape right now is it's doing it for me.
It's that style, right? So the Mustangs that we have out now, the newer ones, I've grown to like them. My wife hates them. Father-in-law hates them. Doesn't like the style. Doesn't like how they look. They like my wife's the 2010. So if anybody knows the style, they took a mixture. Like they have a 70s, kind of like a 70s slope in the front, and the inside is the 60s. They got like the dash is all 60s inside. Now my son's is, even since it's an 05, it's got more of the 60s look in the front, and the dash even looks like the 60s style dash, and the gauges look all 60s in there. So they really like those. There's a good span. Now it just seems like they just keep doubling down on the new design. Kind of looks like a Porsche in the rear end. How they round those Mustangs off.
Yeah, I'm not a giant fan of the brand new Mustangs, but like you said, the 05, 06 through 10, 11s, I actually really like that design because they're all fastbacks. They're real sleek looking. For me now on the newer Mustangs, it's the front end that gets me because that front end kept getting smaller and smaller. And the brand new Mustangs, I feel like they look like almost a Miata in the front to me because the front end's so low. I kind of like the back end actually.
See, I'm the other way around.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
I like the headlights, not the ass.
Yeah, I like the ass, not the headlights.
Yeah, there you go.
The battle continues.
Yeah.
So what about sky's the limit?
Well, you know what? We didn't really bring it up yet, but I really like the Ford GT.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah, I want a Ford GT. I would love to have a Ford GT.
Yeah, I saw some of those. They were at that car show.
Yeah. Well, there's some at the at Krieger Ford here, and when they have a Ford, I think it's an all Ford car show. There's I think 3 or 4 of them that was showing up.
Of the brand new ones?
No, the ones from before. No, not the
Oh, like
brand new
05,
ones.
06.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are people that own them.
So wait, which ones are you saying you wanted? Like the 05?
Any of them, just give me one.
Okay, well, that's a
it
good
doesn't matter
answer.
to me. Yeah, any of them.
Nice.
Any of them. They're sharp-looking cars, so.
They are. And I tell you, that last generation, the 05, 06s, they're just shooting up in value. Gosh, you can't touch them.
I think I told you this. I didn't learn how difficult it was to get those things until I heard that in your last show. I just assumed you had to have a ton of money to get it in the first place, and I was like, well, I look at the old wallet, like, yeah, let's put that on.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's
that.
only half the battle. That's only half the battle. Ford has
Yeah.
to approve and give their stamp of approval for you to be able to buy it.
Well, wasn't the one guy, was it, you said John Cena's who you thought it was? And I
believe it was, correct us if we're wrong, I think it was John Cena recently.
I thought it was
who,
The Rock, so I couldn't remember.
Well,
Maybe
one of the two.
Well,
Some professional wrestler turned
Wrestler.
Hollywood actor. Somebody bought a new Ford GT, brand new,
Yeah.
like 2018, and this is last year, I guess. But bought one of them and then sold it soon after. And Ford actually went after him. Ford filed suit with him. And from what I heard, he claims he sold it because it didn't fit in the car that well. Now, I'll add this: the reason that argument would seem a little invalid is because the seats, did you know this? In the brand new Ford GTs, the seats aren't adjustable.
they're not.
They don't move front or back.
It's just
but-
what you get.
Well, kind of. Ford will have you come out and they'll fit you to your car.
So they just really tailor that car to you. Then.
Yeah, I mean, they're, well, for $500,000, they're better. So they'll come
$500,000.
out.
I want some rails so I can adjust if I get fat. Maybe
They
break
think
a
it's
leg.
too heavy. They think it's too. I mean, they were really going for
All
a
about
weight
the
reduction
lightness.
in these. But anyway, so Ford went after him and sued him for selling his car. And I think it actually got tossed out because the court was like, can't actually sue somebody for selling their car. So they tried. I don't think it worked out for him, but yeah, it's hard to get them. It's hard to get them.
I'd like to have one. So if anybody's got one to give away, I'll take it.
Yeah. I think we all feel that way.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna sound dumb, but I wouldn't trade my Mustang for it. If someone give me one, I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe my dream car's the one that's in my garage now. I don't know. That's
That's always the
think
right
about
answer,
it.
right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, what do you want? It's what I have, or
I think it's because of, you same way with your Camaro, I'm sure. You put so much time and effort into something. I mean, I had a chance. There was a guy that was interested. He wanted to swap with the Mach 1. I think it was an 04 Mach 1, and I had to give him a little bit extra to boot. But there was a little bit of problems at Mach 1. It ended up not being a good deal. But at the end of it, I was kind of relieved. At first I thought it was going to be like, oh man, I really want that Mach 1. But I felt relieved. And I think what it was, I didn't really want to do it. I just wanted the Mach 1. But I looked at that car I have and all the effort I put into it. I'm more happy with what I had.
yeah, boy, huh? Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you invest so much time and money because there's days where that Camaro, I go out there and I look at it, I'm like, ugh. Sometimes, every now and then, I'm not particularly fond of it some days, but you invest so much in it that you're like, well, if I get rid of it, I'm going to be more upset.
Right.
So,
And your blood's in there somewhere. When you
yeah.
bust a knuckle, you become one with that car, and you kind of feel like you're betraying a kid or something if you're getting rid of it. I don't know. That Trans Am I didn't feel that way about. So I know I made the right choice with that.
yeah. If you're not bonded to it like that, for a hot rod, you're better off getting it, moving on to getting rid of it, getting on to the next thing where you can bond with it.
And that poor guy, in that Trans Am, he blew the transmission out of it. So it's just sitting there at his house. And
Well, people say those 4L60s are pretty easy to blow. I don't know. I haven't interacted with them much, but
my father-in-law built a motor in it, and
the motor's still
strong as can be.
good.
So
It speaks volumes.
yeah,
Nice.
he rebuilt that. So that was the one great thing that car had going for it. Had those electrical issues. Remember that?
Oh,
You
yeah.
were going to try to figure that out.
Yeah, I almost had it figured out. It had, what was the problem?
Well, let's see. One, it would shock you. I knew that. But we were worried about the low oil pressure. Remember, so you'd have low oil pressure at hot idle.
Yeah.
And the car was rebuilt. Even the mechanical gauge was saying it was low. But I think Chevy's spec is what, 7 pounds of pressure?
Pretty low,
Something-
yeah.
Yeah, 6.
Low.
Something real dumb. So it still met that on the mechanical gauge. But on the idiot gauge on the dash, the light would come on every time. So if you sat out of light after it was hot, that light would come on telling you about the oil pressure. And so that's what made me get the darn mechanical gauge. Is I want to say, I got to compare this. This can't be right. No, it was right, but we never could figure out why.
I still theorize it was something electrical. I think it was some alternator related or relay related, and the thing was idling too low for the pressure.
Could have been.
But we'll never know. You got rid of it before I could fix it.
Yeah. What was it? What 700 RPMs? I think where it was idling at. So that is kind of low. But
Yeah, a little. Yeah, it's a hair low. But who knows? You moved on to bigger and
that's
better
not
things.
my problem anymore.
Mustangs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Yeah.
He's happy. He likes his car. So
Good.
don't
Sounds
want to trade it.
worked out for all parties involved.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it.
That is. Well, boy, I tell you, Jeremy, did you have anything you wanted to ask the folks, tell the folks, anything you wanted to discuss, or
Well, we can talk about that. Stock shifter going away.
stick shifts?
Stick shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stock stick shift.
I'm you can read upside down better than I can.
Well, I couldn't. I said stock, said stick. I know what you meant.
Yeah. So stick shifts
Yeah.
and the lack thereof nowadays. I that's something that's only going to get worse, I feel like. I mean, unless society's views on hot rods really change, I don't think sticks are.
Well, the new Shelby GT500 is automatic only.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so it's automatic only.
Wow, I didn't even heard that yet.
Yeah. So
Oh,
when
no.
it came out, it says automatic only. Now, if you want a 6-speed, Ford said they'll be willing to do it, but it has to have a lot of interest to do it. And the reason behind it is they're saying that there's no way humanly possible to shift that car any faster than an automatic will now. Automatics are so finely tuned now.
I'm going to make a claim here. People are going to get mad, but that's almost any automatic that you can't shift faster than an automatic. Now, this is going to start some fiery debates, especially with like some of the old timers, but I mean, anymore at least, for a while now, you can't shift faster than automatic. I mean, for a drag car, that's why you usually want an automatic. You know, it's more fun banging gears, a lot more fun, but an auto is just faster. But why would they not produce, I mean, because that's going to be their top-tier Mustang, why would they not put a stick shift in it?
Well, Carroll Shelby died, so maybe that's what they've done, and I don't know. Maybe without his input. I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's a straight-line design car, right? That's what it's supposed to be for. It's supposed to just blow everybody away. I mean,
well, is it, or is it going to handle like the GT350 recently was designed to do?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be just a straight line car. It's supposed to be. I mean, you obviously can drive it however you want, but that's what they're thinking is that with that transmission being automatic, there's just no way you can't outshift it. So if I sat there with the manual version, if they made one,
but that's not the point.
Well, no, that's not the point. But that's their point.
I don't think. I mean, the Ford GT, you can't buy it in a stick, and I get that because it's a supercar. And most supercars nowadays, there's very few supercars you can get a stick in. There's only a couple. So that is what it is. I mean, it sucks that again stick shifts are going away there. But for the Mustang, even a GT500 to not offer a stick, I don't understand. Are they producing them yet? Are they manufacturing them yet?
Well, yeah. They're making them. They're just not making them with a 6-speed.
Yikes! I don't know how I feel about that.
But like I said, if they can get people to say they want it, they'll do it. They get enough interest. That's what they.
But they're already manufacturing, so they would have to start a stick shift for the next model year, right?
Nah, they said they'll still put it with this. I mean, it's not like Trademark can't make one. So, and it's the way they made it sound like that it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, what it sounded like to me when you watch the explanation from the Ford Performance team and with the Shelby team, they were talking about how the plans are there for it. They tested it, they designed it, so it's not like it's that much of a switch for them to do it.
Well, at least it's on paper. At least they considered
That's what it seemed like from talking to them. Like they didn't act like it was going to have to go back to the drawing board and nothing like that to kind of figure out how to make it work.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, that's not going to make one.
Yeah, boy. Well, I really hope that changes. That's sad to hear. Yeah, I've just now recently started reading about the GT500s. I didn't even know enough to confidently comment on anything with it tonight.
Well, the Mustangs are scary now, the direction they're going, like with all cars are going that way, like the electrified versions of them and the hybrid versions.
Yeah.
The April 1st, the April Fool's, I hope it's an April Fool's thing. I mean, I've only ever seen one site say something about it, and it was April Fool's, so I didn't really say it was fake or not, but they were talking about how Ford's going to skip the hybrid section of the Mustang and go all electric in 2020, 2022, something like that.
Oh.
Something it can't be true, but that is their end game, though. That's where they want to be one day.
That's all these manufacturers' end games, to one day be all electric.
So they want to do the hybrid, and then they want to do the full-on electric. And I mean, the people, they're fast. I mean, Teslas, those things scoot.
Yeah, we need a whole episode to talk about hybrids and electric cars. We really do.
We just don't hear the sound. That's what I want. I want the sound. I want that rumble. When I push that gas pedal, I want something to rumble.
Well, I do have a comment on that. I'm gonna try and avoid going into my electrical car rant, but I do have a comment with that. So there was a movie I saw years ago with Vince Vaughn and who's the other guy? Kevin James. What It was about one of them cheating on the other one. Yeah, it was some drama comedy thing, dramedy, whatever they're called. I don't know. Anyway, they're engineers for Dodge in the movie, and they're building an all electric Charger. So I got more interested in the subplot of the movie than I did the damn movie itself.
Yeah.
But they're building an all electric Charger, and they're trying to figure out how to make it cool and sell it to the public. And they came up with an idea that I don't know why it's not a real thing. They built in sounds of like a V8 into the radio, and it would change with the level of revs, change with the speed, all that. So it always sounded like you were driving a car. It changed, the level of sound. It would idle like a V8. It was just an electric car. And I was like, that is a good damn idea. And I haven't heard of anyone implementing that.
No, they're there.
Really?
Yeah, yep. The Mustangs, I was going to say that. The Mustang, I don't know about everybody else's cars, but I do know the newer Mustangs, they did that. They pipe it, I read it, they pipe it into the speakers so you can hear like the loud.
I did hear a little bit about this. It's to add sound, right?
Right, yeah. It's not to get, because it's already making sound.
Yeah.
It was to add sound.
Okay. I know what you're talking. Yeah, I did hear about that. They pipe in more sound because I'm assuming it's just because the sound deadening's so quality now. The car's so quiet.
They want you to know that you're hammering it, I guess.
Yeah, I did hear about that. But you know what I'm saying, though. Like, if you want to sell an all-electric car to a, hot rod guy, I mean, good luck in the first place. But also, you got to make it seem at least a little bit like a hot rod. And I think the looks are, they can make an electric car look good. I talked about this before. But you got to make it sound like, you got to at least make it fake. Like, make me think I'm in a, make me tell myself I'm in a hot rod.
Well, let's have a Twilight Zone moment, right?
Okay.
All right, so you're at a drag strip, right? And the year's 2050. And you're just sitting there and you're watching.
I'll be dead.
Well, hopefully not. So in 2050, you're sitting there and you're watching two cars line up the race, and they're electric cars, right?
It's going to be the quietest drag.
It's going to be the quietest. You don't even know when they started. You're like, well, they're done? That's what you're going to say? Yeah, that's all you'll hear some tires warming up. You might hear a chirp. That's it. It'll be like one of them, like a silent fart. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pay to watch that.
It'll be. Yeah.
I'm not.
It's going to be boring.
Yeah.
Because you would think by then drag cars will be all electric.
They'll have
so
to.
It'll sound like a bomb going off when you hear like a 10,000 kilowatt motor going. Is that a lot?
Well, I don't know. It sounds great, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
9.21 gigawatts.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, electric drag racing.
Back to the Future car.
Yeah, and they'll be fast. I mean, we're going to end up talking about electric cars for half an hour. Electric cars, they're getting very, very, very fast for what they are. I mean, they're getting fast just overall. Not even for being what they are, just fast overall. But you still need more. You need to sell the feel. You need to sell the feel. Like if I had to drive a Tesla tomorrow, I'd probably get used to it because they're quick. But I need something to hear it. Like when I press on the gas, I want to hear a rumble, even if it's fake. I want to hear it.
I want to hear it, but I want outside people to hear it. So that's the thing. So what are you going to do? Put Bose speakers
on so you want to put like subs in here?
Yeah, I want the world to hear it.
Maybe you're introducing a whole nother. Well, then you're just lying to everybody.
Well, that's fine.
Oh, see, I just wanted to lie to myself.
No, I want to lie to everyone.
Yeah, boy.
No, I mean that's the way I want. If I'm going to have an electric car, it's got to rumble. I mean, when I hit that gas pedal, I want some kind of counterbalance in there so the car moves a little bit. So you hit that gas pedal or electric, whatever the heck, you hit that switch with your foot, and I want to counterbalance the shift so the motor, you feel like a motor shift or rocking in a little bit. And then when you slam on that gas or slam on that electric, so you can't have
when you close that circuit?
Yeah, when you close that circuit, man. I don't know what you would say to it.
I don't know.
What's the equivalent, huh?
I don't know. You're the IT guy. You know more about this than I do.
I'm anti that. The only way you can compare is going down a steep hill with your car turned off.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, that's about the only way you can compare.
And don't do that, folks. Don't drive down a steep. You will lose your steering.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Don't do that.
I need that.
Yeah. I'll say this. I got to ride in a Tesla once, and it was 4 years ago. So I think it was that first model, the Model 3. Is that right? Whatever the first Tesla, not the Roadster. It came after the first sedan, Tesla sedan that came out with. Yeah, and it was cool. It was quick, but you know what got me was, and a lot of these hybrids are like this, it was so quiet that all you heard was the road noise from the tires. Because it had low-profile, sporty tires, and all I heard was road noise, and it was almost more annoying because all I heard was tires. And I was like, this is almost more droney than a regular, like, hot rod or a regular V8 car.
But I never thought about that.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. It was just, and maybe I picked up on it more than, Bob the lawyer would, but I was just kind of like, this is, all I hear is tires. But
it's Bob the lawyer, though, that puts on that Tesla jacket that they give you when you buy one. You ever see those?
Do they give you a jacket?
Well, I don't know, but I see people wearing them. So
I've never seen
you go down to Easton Mall.
Yeah.
And, a quick segue, but it's still Tesla related. So I watched this guy with this nice fancy Tesla driving past everybody, looking special when everybody look at me. So I refuse to look at his car. You always tell somebody's wanting you to look at him, I ain't gonna look.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something I don't really care about. But when I did look at him was when he was having a hard time trying to parallel park. Now I definitely turned around and watched that. And I just sat there like like when the baseball umpires, my hands on my knees, kind of like down like this, just staring at him. And he had my full undivided attention. And just to make him nervous, I wanted to see him hit something in that car. That's what I wanted. And when he got out, he had this pretentious looking, I don't know, like a suede look, not a suede. What's like a,
I like some
silky
velour.
kind of, I don't know.
I know what
stupid.
you mean, though.
And it had like the red little trim all around it and said Tesla on the back. And he had this ugly girl with him that he thought was hot. And I mean, the jacket looked better than she did.
Yeah, oh no, that's not good.
And the car wouldn't want either. But I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's a different crowd that wants those kinds of cars. And maybe they think the tire droning sounds good. Like, man, listen to this.
Maybe.
This
It could be.
great.
I don't know. And I'm not even trying to hate on Tesla owners.
Not the Tesla owners I'm not hating on, but that guy. You just had to see that guy. That guy.
That guy's probably listener number 6.
I hope he does. I hope he burns that jacket. If you got a Tesla and you got that jacket,
there goes a listener.
Just don't.
We've only got like 4 people listening to this damn thing.
Well, hopefully they're not. Well, they're not going to watch it unless they're trying to learn about cars that don't run on electric.
Maybe some electric car guys are watching this saying, why don't they talk about hybrids?
Well, we did.
Not in a positive way.
Yeah, now that's...
Boy.
Now that maybe they're trading it in right now. Like, you know what? These guys are right. I'm just going to go trade this in.
I'll trade this in for my automatic GT500.
Everybody thought I was hot, looking great, driving this car. I'm not. I was making fun of me. Even though I'm faster than them, as I drive by, they're going...
But I'll end this on a note to give them credit. A lot of these guys, we'll make fun of these Tesla guys until they blow past you.
Oh, they'll smoke you.
Yeah, I mean, they are.
Yeah, those
there are
cars
some
fast.
really fast. Have you heard about this ludicrous mode that some of them have? I don't know if it's all of them or just the recent
Spaceballs,
Tesla
I heard
models.
ludicrous mode, but
Wait, what?
Spaceballs, you ever watched Spaceballs movie?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
You gotta watch
It's been longer than Christine. Yeah, there's a ludicrous mode. You haven't heard of this?
No.
So it's something in the computer because it's a computer on wheels.
Yeah.
You go into the giant flat screen, you press it, and you can select ludicrous mode for like the driving style, and it'll give you like a thing. It's like, hey, this will. The disclaimer I saw was like, to sum it up, it was like this will kill the car sooner. Like this will wear the drivetrain parts down exponentially faster, and it'll just go crazy.
Ludicrous mode.
Yeah, I mean they move.
Ludicrous should come over the radio when you hit that mode. That should just be like an automatic thing. Like you just play some song from him.
I'd like it.
Yeah,
but you punch this thing in and they will move.
Now, wasn't it them that the hurricane that was coming in Florida, wasn't it Tesla that issued a software update to unlock additional battery capability so they could drive farther to get out of the state?
I didn't hear about that.
I think it was them. There was some.
So you're saying there's potential for them to drive farther, but they're holding back?
That's kind of what I was getting at. I don't remember. I don't know what the point of locking out part of that battery was.
Well, to keep the consumers from driving. I hope not. I hope that's
no, it's true.
Oh.
I just don't know why they reserved that. I don't know if it's like if you want to pay for an upgrade, like maybe it's an option. Like you buy this car and I only want to drive to the store and back, so you get like an hour worth of battery and you got to charge it for 6 hours.
I'd be curious if anybody out there knows about that. Tell us about that. I'd be curious. Maybe it was somewhere they could. I think
it was Florida when they done it.
Maybe they could diminish the power down on the car enough to where it was just maximum.
I don't know.
Mileage.
Yeah, because they issued some software update so they could just drive longer, unlock part of the battery.
Huh. Interesting. I didn't know about that.
And it could also be. I mean, I'm hating on it, but maybe Elon Musk isn't an idiot. Maybe it's not maybe it's not something like they need you to pay to upgrade to unlock it. Maybe it's kind of like now I'm digging into my IT side, but like when a hard drive goes bad, when it starts, like certain sectors go bad on a hard disk, there's always reserved sections on a disk for like if this goes bad, well then we're going to take from over here. So you don't actually lose space. They just take the reserve.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe as the battery ages, maybe the computer shifts it over to that lock side.
Huh. I don't know.
So
yeah, if anybody out there knows, feel free to let us know. I'd be curious to hear more about that.
Could be way off, but that's one idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea why.
I'm way off on most of the stuff I say, so.
I just know they can beat me, but I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all, I mean, they're cool, they're fast. I like the way things are. the way things are going are interesting, depending on what you like. But yeah, there's not the feel. There's not that visceral experience.
That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah,
mostly. I just want to feel it.
Yeah, there's not the experience with the electric cars. But who knows where things will be? You know, we'll keep talking about this. We'll keep things updated. But yeah, we'll see.
Oh, an electric Mustang comes out, I'm not gonna like it either. So it's not just Tesla.
Yeah, I mean it's whoever's making it.
It's whoever. I just don't like the idea of the electric.
Or it's not whoever's making it. Excuse me. It's the idea that it's.
Well, I think for me, without hating on it too much, man, this guy hates electric cars. But if I drive from here to say California, you know, I want to be able to pull in a gas station, get some gas, and go. Until they can make it so I can plug in and charge rapidly, and I mean like within 20 minutes, and I got a full charge, it's not worthwhile to me. I don't want to have to go to a hotel and look for an extension cord, you know, and charge my car and have to be required to stay because my battery's dead.
That is one thing they need to do a lot better on is the range. I mean, I think some of them can do 300 plus, 400 plus. I don't know, but yeah, they need to do a lot better on the range.
Well, the generators. Maybe if they get like some kind of generators that more power. Maybe as the technology gets better, you can drive and generate at the same time.
Well, a lot of hybrids have that.
The hybrids.
My dad's Camry has that. It's got regenerative where when you brake it regenerates. I think it might just be a load of bullshit. I don't know how it works. How do you regenerate power through? I don't know. I'm not an engineer.
When you're braking, when you're sitting.
I'm not. I will never pretend to be an engineer. But but they have that stuff. They're regenerative. They're working on it. But I know what you mean. The range needs to get a lot better because you need to. When I take off on a road trip, I need to depend that my car is going to take me at least X distance. And hopefully more than that.
Get some gas and go on.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that's technology for you. It changes fast. Faster than I can keep up with it, and I'm just sitting here complaining about it. So.
Yeah, I just put some gas in my car and go.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. Well. Yep. Good old petrol. So.
We'll watch this when this ages, and I'll watch back on in about 20 years. I'm driving that electric Mustang around that I'm sitting there hating on, saying I'm never going to buy.
Hey. I'll be doing the same. I'll be like, I said what?
I'm gonna put some kickers in the trunk so I can hear the exhaust out the back.
Yeah, well, you got to put them outside too, so the people can hear your car.
Well,
like
yeah, I'll do it special.
You want everybody to think you got some.
Point it down towards the wheels, like from inside the trunk, so that way, like a grill or something, so they can go out, be real loud.
Nice, I like it. I like it. Yeah. Any closing thoughts or anything?
Nah, I think I pretty much hated on Tesla. That's probably a bad thing.
Yeah, this turned into a 30-minute segment.
Well, I mean, you say you got four people to watch the show. I watch one, so maybe you got five, or you have you have three. You have to worry about it. You watch it, right? So
I just assume, folks, everyone out there watching. I've said this the past few episodes. I appreciate everybody watching. We really do. We just do this for fun. We like talking cars. I love talking cars. It's all just for bench racing, but yeah, we really appreciate you guys watching and staying tuned to this. So yeah, Jeremy, I appreciate you being here. Guys. Keep giving us questions. Keep telling us what we can do. Keep telling us what you like, what you don't like. I'm just here for the shit of it. Just here to have fun and kick back, talk cars. Try to give as accurate information as I can. You guys, we kind of rely on you guys to help us too. If you know more on a topic than I do, let us know. We'll try to correct it. But yeah, appreciate everybody listening. We'll see you guys next time on Much's Wrench Set.